Welcome, everyone, to the 8-Bit Show.
It's the 8-Bit Show!
Sunday edition.
It's for adults.
What?
Yeah, it's for adults.
The Sunday edition.
It's, yeah.
For adults.
It's only,
okay.
We're old. And only old people get up this early on Sundays.
Is that true? People have jobs on Sundays and shit.
That's true.
No.
People be getting up. I mean,
People be getting up.
No. Sunday is a day of rest.
I mean, I didn't have a job I had to get to today or anything, but
That's because you're an adult, and adults have the weekends off.
And adults get Sundays off as a day of rest.
I hated working early morning on Sundays so much, though. Like the first few jobs that I had. Ugh.
that is kind of a bummer.
Oh yeah, because I do like Sundays to just be like my, hey, I'm just gonna not do anything.
That's
Hang
the
out for
Lord's
the day.
day.
Exactly. Right.
The day
made
the
it
Lord
for.
gave.
How you guys doing?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Doing all right.
Good.
Found a game that I've been obsessing with, so
That's always
that's been good. It's always good when I get on a game. Yeah, going hard on it. Quite like it ticks a lot of boxes for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I guess I should say these voices that you're hearing. I'm Frankie 1029. There's TooLittles 505.
That's me.
And Coffee and Corn Dogs.
Yo, and if you're hearing any voices besides that, then you're fucking crazy.
You might want to get that checked out. I mean, if it's working for you, then do you, boo. But
No, definitely get that checked.
I mean, it depends on what they're saying, right?
No, get it checked.
Get it checked.
You might have a spider in your ear tells you to do stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's always scary.
I just remember seeing that the video of like the spider that crawled into the guy's ear. They had to extract it. Oh no.
I've seen it.
They're probably telling him to do stuff.
Probably. You should clean out your damn ear. Oh, good. Well,
I mean,
sorry, go
if
ahead.
anything, like you want to keep your ear dirty, like the earwax will block the spiders from going in. Clean your ears; they're just gonna hop right in there, no problem.
Right. That's very true, actually.
So
That is our advice to you.
do like what the Q-tip box says, and don't put them in your ear.
I like that
I
the
mean,
person
I
who
do,
invented Q-tips were like, yeah, this shouldn't go in your ear.
Should never go in your
Why
ear.
did you invent it?
There is a myriad of cosmetic uses for that besides sticking it in your ear. Having said that,
I've used those like
to put in your ear.
I've used like those ones that are like one side has like a scoop and the other side has like what looks like a Q-tip, except for it's like made of plastic and has a whole bunch of like slits in it.
Oh,
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
They're like
I've never
made
seen
to
that.
clean your ears.
Yeah.
I want to try one of those out because I get pretty waxy ears. I mean, I just
I like
clean it out
those.
with
I
Q-tips
actually
like
need-
I'm not supposed to, but
I should probably get one of those things to like rinse my ear out.
Oh yeah. Those are just nice to do every now and then, honestly, because you can feel it, you know. It's like, oh,
Well, yeah. After the like sinus cold I had, I still feel like my ears are just there's like a lot of pressure in there.
yeah. I get the same thing because I got a lot of sinus issues, and apparently it's all connected somehow.
it's all in your head, but not in like a psychosomatic way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Shall we get on to the news? Do the news things.
Yeah, what's hot? What's the hot news?
Yeah, and Christian,
It's
looks
the
like
juicy
you do a
guys.
lot, so you want to go
Yeah.
first?
put me on the spot like that.
I am.
It's all right. I don't know how much I appreciate that.
You have a lot of news. Dang.
A lot of it's fairly quick stuff.
Yeah, same for me, actually, I think.
Well, I guess to start, I watched the Xbox Developer Direct on Tuesday or something like that.
Yeah.
I actually watched it like yesterday. I watched it yesterday. I was trying to watch it before before we do the podcast, and then we ended up not doing the podcast.
Yeah. Sorry. It's my fault.
That's okay. I probably wouldn't have been able to watch it in time. It was all right. They showed off 4 games, technically 5, but 4 games. They showed off some more Doom Dark Age and gave a release date, May 15th, which will be out on Xbox. One of the things I thought was really cool is they didn't show any like exclusive game. Every game they showed will be out for Xbox, PS5, PC, like all across the board. I even think some of them are going to try and make their way to the Switch too.
Man. Yeah. Well.
So I thought that was kind of cool about the whole thing. Microsoft or Xbox really leaning into the whole like our games are everywhere aspects.
Did you see this coffee mug of mine? That's an Xbox.
What?
You haven't seen their Everything's an Xbox campaign?
Yeah. I have seen that campaign.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I did also see that. It does sound sounds like something I cringed at once.
But, I mean, I think it's cool though. They're leaning this way.
Yeah, no, yeah. I do like that they're trying to make as many games available on as many platforms as they can.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, the new Doom looks really good. I guess there's some controversy with how they're doing it. It looks like they kind of slowed combat down a little bit.
Oh.
It wants you to take more of like a stand and fight, given that you have a shield to fight with.
Stand and deliver.
They've removed a lot of the platforming that was in Eternals, which I'm pretty grateful for. I didn't really like all the platforming.
Yeah, honestly, like it kind of messed with the flow a little bit. I still
response.
Thought that it was fun, but
I read a response from the developers, and their response to like why they're removing some of that was that you shouldn't have to fight your controller. You should just be fighting bad guys.
And that's
should just be fighting demons.
I'm okay.
So they seem to have taken that back to like more of a Doom style of play, where it's not really sure. There's some like jump to this platform or whatever, but it's not nearly as much. And it just looks freaking awesome. Standing there with like a shield, and one of the weapons is like a flail. It looks awesome.
Yeah,
the new Doom game looks great.
This looks amazing. Honestly, I really like
the
shield.
Of them. I've actually really liked all the new Dooms since 2016.
Oh yeah.
With very nostalgia feelings for the old Doom games still.
Well, I hope they just keep on, because like they've been very well developed. Like, I mean, you see like hardware benchmarks of the game that have ridiculous frame rates. And I've even tried to play it on like pretty much potatoes, and it amazingly runs pretty dang well. So yeah, they have some pretty dang good code optimization, or maybe it's not even code optimization, but just the technologies they're using. I'm not sure exactly what, but it's a smooth game, and for how fast paced the game can feel, that's like super welcome.
Yeah, I look forward to playing the Dark Age. There was a lot of like during the direct, there was a whole lot of like, seemingly they really want to try and get new players into playing, and touting that, you know, this is where you should begin. This is like a prequel to Doom Guy, and stuff. So as they seem to really want to be targeting newer players. And one of the cooler things that I saw during the trailer, and they're talking about it, was they have like a slider bar, or a whole bunch of them for difficulties. Oh, really? Not just like easy, hard, and stuff. They still have that, but below that they have like the timing of your parry windows. And
oh, really? Like you can get that granular with it?
Yeah, you can set that to where you want, and I honestly love that in games.
That's really cool. I've never seen anything that granular, honestly.
I've only ever seen them in indie games that go like that in depth. I have a few indie games that have like a lot of sliders to set difficulties.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I've seen that in a few indie games too. But yeah, that's really cool.
To see it in something like this is really cool, especially with the whole games not being hard enough fiasco stuff that some gamers want to go off about.
Yeah.
This scene, I enjoy it because not everybody has the same levels,
right?
And sometimes when it comes to just having like those set ones, it's like I have to do it because, you know, I have a hard time with like the parry window or whatever. But if you can just set that down a little lower but keep like everything else high, it just gives you more accessibility, really.
Oh wow, they just, sorry, in the video that I'm looking at, they just showed it off on the screen here. They got damage to player, damage to demons, projectile speed, enemy aggression.
Yeah, there's a lot.
That's so cool. This is honestly pretty awesome.
I love seeing that many options for a difficulty thing,
right? Because
like, that really expands like accessibility for people.
Yeah, like if you just want to enjoy the game, turn it all down, and if you're like, no, I want to go hardcore on it, then like,
yeah, but
the world's your
even
oyster,
beyond
right?
that, like I want to go hardcore on it, but also I struggle with this one aspect.
Oh yeah, right.
And that you can adjust that. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
They also showed South of Midnight, which looks like a Dark Souls like game, coming out on April 8th for all the usual Xbox spots, but not the PS5 apparently. That was one of the few that wasn't coming to PS5.
Wow.
Right.
Rare.
It looked okay. Honestly, it was the least excited one I saw out of the games.
Yeah.
It looks kind of cool, following like Southern America folklore type stuff.
Okay.
Not South American, but like
yeah,
USA, like South USA. Interesting, but I always have an issue with all those Souls-like type games.
Yeah.
Then they showed off a pretty cool looking JRPG, which actually had me more intrigued than most of the games do, called Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Yeah, I remember hearing about this at some point with somewhere. I can't remember.
It looks like it's taking a lot of influence from like some Western JRPG styles. Remember that game that was I think it was for Xbox, Last Remnant?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of that. Maybe with some like Lost Odyssey in there, which was also an Xbox game. When they were trying to bring like the RPG genre to Xbox.
yeah.
Some like when you're doing the fights, some like precision timing will help you get like better damage boosts or negate damage and stuff. But it looks pretty fun as you go out. Like there's like these expeditions to this place, and obviously it like resets every so often, but you're on expedition 33, possibly trying to stop the cycle, like a lot of games, but it looked pretty cool. Has me hopeful for some cool JRPG stuff.
Yeah.
And the big surprise of the show was Ninja Gaiden 4. They announced a new Ninja Gaiden 4, which is freaking awesome, especially for was it Koei Temco Koei?
Yeah.
Who are also have the Ninja Gaiden like Reborn thing coming out, where they've remastered all the old Ninja Gaiden games. This one is also with collaboration with Platinum Games, the guys who did like Bayonetta and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Team Ninja and Platinum Games have come together to make Ninja Gaiden 4. And honestly, in the trailer, you can see a lot from each of the teams. Like during the trailer, you can see Platinum's influence with like perfect dodges.
Yeah.
And its visual style, like over the top visual stylings. And you can also see like what Team Ninja likes to do with like Neo and stuff like that, making like boss fights tough, challenging, and well put together worlds. So that looks
really cool.
Super cool. At the same time, they announced and released Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
Yeah.
For Game Pass. Oh, it's on Game Pass. I know that because I played it. I started playing it right away. Last year, maybe the year before. Timing's weird, but I'd recently just played through the first Ninja Gaiden Black on Game Pass. I quite enjoyed it, so I was looking forward to playing Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. And I've been getting my ass kicked pretty frequently and regularly.
Well, you said it was going to be fun.
It is fun.
Oh, okay, good.
No, it's fun. Those like old Ninja Gaiden games, they like bring me back to a time like just before the like Demon Souls craze took over,
right? And
everything became like a Demon Souls copy. Like that Ninja Gaiden was hard, but it still had like the stylings and stuff of like Devil May Cry.
Yeah, well, it didn't feel impossible, you know? It felt like the difficult parts, and I think this is to me personally, what feels like like an expert level of gameplay is if you want to make something difficult, you don't make it feel out of reach. You just make it feel like you just need to try a little bit harder. You know, you need to put your all into it, right? But not that it's going to be impossible.
A few better timings on things, and you probably would have had it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not the same type of combat. Like, one of my biggest problems with any of the Demon Soul like games is that it's always the same. It's always like smack them once, maybe twice.
Yeah. Dodge, dodge, roll, and then do it again. Repeat that process until boss dies or whoever dies. Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden is not like that. You're wanting to like dodge around and hit them, but you're also like laying like fat combos into them. You know?
Right. Well, I remember,
and like when you're on it, you look badass.
Yeah, I remember with what was the one on the DS called? Anyways,
what was that one?
That one was really fun, and I remember feeling like sometimes like, oh, I need to do, like, it felt like I had to do the right moves at the right time to just like slice through regular enemies, you know, like there was like, yeah, I can like hit all these enemies, take my time or whatever, but there was also kind of like a flow to being able to like really mow people down, which was cool.
Yeah. But I've been quite enjoying playing Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. I haven't played too much Only like 3 hours so far, but fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden 4 will be out sometime in the fall of this year, though, which is another
Cool.
like big surprise for it.
Right.
Not only was it announced, it's coming out this year.
Not in 5 years from now.
Yeah.
I like that. Don't tell me about a game when it's like conceptually in your eye. Wait until it's, a little bit more, please, and thank you.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big problem with some of those shows, and like even like the Game of the Year showed off a whole bunch of stuff that isn't even coming this year.
Yeah.
But that was it for the Nintendo Direct. Just 4 games.
Microsoft.
They talked about like a pretty good number of stuff.
You said
yeah,
Nintendo
Microsoft.
Direct.
Sorry, Xbox Developer Direct.
Yeah, Microsoft held the Nintendo Direct. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really moving on in the world. It was pretty fun. Like I said, there was some interesting talks from the developers during the conference that if you're interested in, it'd be worth watching.
For
but
sure.
Those were the games shown.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out more of that because that's cool. Cool.
What you got?
I wanted to see here. Where did that go? I had something, and yeah. So, speaking along these lines, Phil Spencer was on. Shoot, what's the name of the podcast? Gamertag Radio? Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. So he was on this podcast, and he kind of talked about his vision for the future of gaming and whatnot. At least when it comes to Microsoft. And kind of the big thing that he was talking about is that he's excited to get games onto the Switch. So I think at this point it's more than just rumors and speculation and whatnot. It sounds like they really want to hit home on getting their games everywhere, which
I think is it makes sense, right? Like in a business style, the more copies of a game I can sell, the better, right? Like right? I understood console exclusives. I don't understand their reason, but that like time is slowly fading away. I mean, what was it recently? I saw an article that most people are playing on a PC, like more than ever.
Oh yeah,
the vast majority of gamers are playing on PC.
Yeah, and the consoles,
or at least more so than they have in the past.
And the console, what, like the number of consoles out there being actively played on is shrinking. So yeah, I think it's we're getting there. I think Nintendo will probably be the last one to hold out.
I see a lot of their first party titles still trying to remain on just Nintendo stuff for a while.
Yeah, and I don't think that honestly would have anything to do with stubbornness. I think it's more because they can. I think
they can, and they've always had a strong, like, they're one of those companies that has strong branding for their stuff, and they like to have a lot of control when it comes to quality and stuff like that. And you hear it all the time with like horror stories of working with Nintendo and stuff. So there's like, slight reasons for that. They want to control how the quality goes. Yeah. Because of their brand.
Right.
And I would like to see Nintendo games come to like PC.
Oh yeah, me too.
I kind of doubt we ever will.
I mean, maybe, but that's going to be a long ways away, and I think Microsoft is probably going to be the first one to like ditch consoles. I think Phil Spencer has already said that there will be another Xbox console, but I won't be surprised if that is the last one. If they stop looking at it as
even if console
and more of like, oh, this is a gaming PC, but we've trimmed down the operating system so that it's more finely tuned for games, you know? And so maybe you could still use it for you know, like browsing the web and doing office work or something like that. But beyond that, it's just going to be for games.
Yeah, I mean, what the Xbox One was supposed to be, they called it the Xbox One because it was supposed to be like your one entertainment system, right?
Yeah.
For like all your needs. So they had kind of started like that process early, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, totally. Well,
Which
we'll
makes
see where
sense
they
for
end
them.
up.
I mean, Microsoft, it is extremely expensive to just come out with hardware dedicated like that.
Oh yeah, totally. And let's face it, like Microsoft is not winning the battle on that. They haven't for the last few iterations. So
no, I think Nintendo kind of struck down most people. This is why buy any other console but a Nintendo console,
right?
Because I can only play Nintendo games on that.
Yeah.
Everything else I can play on like PC and stuff. And Game Pass has been like extremely worth it, I feel.
Oh yeah.
And especially coming from like being a broke gamer, like that's
right. It's no longer a thing where it feels like, you know, you, me, or other people who like know games are like exclusively the ones telling people to get it. You know, there's people in my office who don't have it, but the people that do, they swear by it. You know, and some of them aren't even heavy gamers. So
no, like you're a parent who has a kid and you want to get them a system, but you know you can't like afford all the games they want.
Right. Oh yeah,
it's the best deal. It's the best deal you can for like cheap video games.
Indeed.
Besides buying like games on sale from Steam, it's the cheapest way to go.
Yeah. What do you got next?
Let's see. What's a good one? So follow up. Well, we talked about it last week, so we could just do an update. Elon Musk admitted to using boosters.
Yeah.
Boosting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it turns out he is a dork.
Also in the most lame way. And some things he wasn't wrong, but my God. Like he tried to say like he never claimed to be the best, even though that is exactly what he claimed. I had seen the original interview and he was, oh, I'm such a good gamer. And that's where the conversation of his like Diablo 4 character came in.
Yeah.
So he does state that any of the streams that you watch of his where he's playing with some of his friends or he's playing is him, 100% him. And I can say that's probably true because all of those are terrible streams, terrible gameplay. So he's probably telling the truth on that. But yeah, he basically said like everyone does it. Right?
Yeah.
All the top players, it's more than one person playing that account because there's just not enough time. It's always just a level grind to the front.
Yeah.
Which isn't inaccurate, but also don't tout yourself to be a great gamer when that's what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, and we should also.
I have this level, this top level character. No, you paid for a top level character.
Yeah.
Like I said the first time, had he would have just admitted like, yeah, I paid somebody to get me to the end game because I don't have the time of day to do that.
Right?
It wouldn't have been as big of a thing.
Exactly.
But yeah, Elon Musk admitted to it. He did indeed use boosters.
Well, and we should point out here that it was Nico Rex who started a conversation.
Nico Rex is the one who originally put out the video exposing him for his Path of Exile play.
Yeah.
And he did get permission to share the DMs that he received.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's so weird that Elon would even like try to hide this at first and then be like yeah, sure, whatever.
Like, it wouldn't have never been a thing.
No,
it would have never been a thing had he just been like, yeah, I paid somebody to help get me to the end game.
Yeah,
what do you want from me? It would have, like, it just never would have been that huge of a thing had he just fully admitted it right off the bat. But then also to claim that he never said that he was that he didn't, and that everyone does it and whatnot. Like,
yeah, I think the whole
there's just
like,
a lot of lies.
Everyone does it is kind of like I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people that do that, but don't think that everybody
a lot of the
does
people he's not necessarily wrong. A lot of people on the top of that leaderboard are not like a one person account. Like, there's multiple people playing that one account because all those games are like grinding to the top levels, so you can be on that board,
right?
But not everybody pays for that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Elon.
So yeah, Elon's stupid and a huge tool. In case you didn't know.
In case you weren't aware
already.
I had suspected.
Okay, let's see. What do I got? So, next up, I got here Celeste, the creator of Celeste.
Stealing my articles.
Yeah. I realized, I'm sorry, I also realized I didn't post any of these. You've already stolen 2 of them, so.
Very good.
Very good. We're on track.
Well, technically, I posted them, so you stole them.
So true. So the creators of Celeste, they are they're calling it quits on their latest game, Earthblade. Now, they said that, from what I gathered, I tried to just do a quick skim of the article that they had put out, but basically they felt like development was kind of floundering and it wasn't going in the way that they wanted it to. And, you know, just recently they realized that they were kind of, it sounds like they were growing to hate working on the project. And when they kind of checked in with one another, they were like, yeah, this is becoming a slog. Like, it's not like, like we're tired because we're working on the game, and, you know, it's game development never goes as fast as you want it to. But it was something more than that. So they did have to kind of put a cap on it and say, all right, we're done. Which is fine. I hope that it doesn't set them too far back financially and whatnot. And I hope that they can make some good games coming up. But they did also want to point out that one of their former founding members, Pedro, who they kind of had a falling out with previously, had nothing to do with them putting the quits to the game.
He was the art director. Pedro Medeiros.
Yeah, I can't remember his last name, but yeah, and they even actually put a link to his new game coming out down in their article. So yeah, extremely okay games. exok.com.
Pedro left the company.
Yeah. That was
after some disputes and conflicts.
Yeah, and that had
they
to
reached
do
a resolution, and it culminated in him leaving the company to work on his own project.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that.
They did state that they're not enemies, and to not go harass Pedro and the Neverway team.
Yeah.
They have asked, like, that's all good. Like, don't go be aggressive towards them.
Yeah, which you know, this was a smart thing to do on their part, because I think there's a lot of very, very big fans of Celeste. That community seems to be very in line with the developers, right? So
yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate to have a game not reach its conclusion, right?
Oh yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'd rather the game didn't come out and we get some, or if the game came out, we got some like half made, no passion in it thing from the creators of Celeste. That would kill them on their own. Like that would kill it on its own.
Yeah. Or in the very
Probably
least,
a better decision.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, again, it kind of sucks. I hope that they can.
They released an apology for the people who, were somewhat emotionally invested in this game, and thanked people for their like dedication to the Celeste team.
Yeah. Well, it's funny.
I hope they get something else though. Like,
yeah, I don't know how many games that they've created in the past. Because if I remember correctly, Celeste was one of the very first games that they've ever created. So I don't know how big of failures that they've had before. But I think when you create something as successful as Celeste and you can go on to your next game, it probably feels like there's a bigger push, whether that's external forces or just from within yourself, to make your next game as big and if not bigger than your most successful game, right? But sometimes you're just gonna fail, and I think the way that they've kind of put themselves out there, like, yeah, we did fail, like, we're moving on though. I think that's an important lesson to learn, honestly, like in anything that you do. So
yeah, they don't have a whole lot of games from what I can tell.
Yeah.
They went from Matt Makes Games to extremely okay games.
Yeah. I think it was Maddie Makes Games, right? Yeah, Maddie Makes Games. Yeah, they have 3 games.
Yeah, they have Jumper, which they have 3 of those. There's Jumper 2, Jumper 3.
Oh,
they have Towerfall, and then they have the Celeste.
Yeah.
I guess they also have a game called Sure Shot. But a lot of like Celeste Classic, Celeste Classic 2, and of course, just last year, the Fragment of the Mountain, Celeste 64. This is their only canceled game, though.
Yeah.
I hope to see more. I hope to see them move on to something else.
Yeah.
Games live and breathe, and sometimes they don't make it. Yeah. There's a lot of games that get canceled, sometimes for stupid reasons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and they're a small team too.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. So, but yeah. Good luck to them in their future endeavors. I'm sure whatever they decide to release will be awesome, though.
We'll keep an ear out for next projects. Let's see. Hold on. Pull this up.
Yeah.
The developers behind a Dino Crisis spiritual successor, which is going under the name Project Violet, put out a statement stating that they are not going to be releasing their game on PC.
Oh.
The statement reads from Twitter that those asking about a PC version of Code Violet, the reasons we are not bringing it to PC is that we do not want anyone modding vulgar versions of our main characters as well as other characters into the game. We hold our voice actresses and actors at high regard, as well as our artistic vision for the game and story and reject any form of destroying that with sexual mods, making a joke out of our art, and possibly tarnishing the reputation of our actresses and actors is not worth the extra money we can make. I find this kind of silly. This is not the first game or developers to have worries about mods.
Yeah.
I think the Final Fantasy VII guys, or the director, was worried and asked modders to not run amok with the creation. Right, but I also think it's also ridiculous to completely cut off a base, especially one that we were just talking about is bigger than consoles now, over concerns of mods. I think their excuse of like tarnishing a reputation of voice actors and actresses, I don't think that's a thing. I don't think anybody downloading mods are
they're not associating that.
They're not like trying to be like, oh, look at what I've got the voice actor to do. Yeah, that's not it. I mean, most of the time it's putting Thomas the Tank Engine in the game. Yeah. Usually it's just those silly, stupid memes. And sure, there's always those like horny gooner memes, but like, I don't think you're not tarnishing anyone's reputation from a mod. It's not like anybody who sees that mod are assuming that's what the game was intended to be.
Yeah, no.
And also the vast majority of mod users and stuff use mods for games that they loved and had played normally.
Yeah, agreed.
So I think it's silly. Apparently I'm not the only one either. It's received some backlash. It also brings into the thing like ownership of a game, right?
Yeah.
Like if I buy a game, does it really matter what I do with that game? And in some people's mind, it does. And I get like the sense of like ruining the artistic vision, right? We talk sometimes about how video games are art.
Yeah.
And there is that bit, but no one's ruining your vision because the vision is still there.
Yeah, exactly.
And there'll be plenty of people who don't download those mods. I don't download mods typically, especially the stupid ones. I don't care. I like the mods that improve gameplay,
quality of life stuff.
Quality of life mods are some of my biggest, most downloaded mods for any of the games I have access to.
Oh yeah, totally. Same here.
And being like an indie team, when it comes to indie games, I almost look like I am more intrigued and more likely to buy a game that works with like Steam Workshop. If I see that a game has Steam Workshop in it, I'm like, ooh, okay.
Right.
I'm a bit more interested now. So I don't know. A little bit of disappointment hearing that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's something to say for voice actors in particular, because they go out to cons and whatnot, and I can feel them, feeling like uncomfortable with some of the mods that are put out, right? Like I can understand that, and that does have to be weird, especially if there is somebody who does bring that up, if you're out at a con or whatnot.
Yeah.
But that being said, I mean, I don't think it's the sort of issue that where it needs to be banned or anything like that, or you do certain things to, try to.
I understand being leery about it, but I think just removing it from PC sales alone.
Yeah, it's it's something else. So I don't know. We'll see. What can you do?
Yeah, I mean, like I don't think any of like the pornographic mods are appropriate in any way. Really?
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, like that, the pornographic mods, it is what it is. Again, like the place where it might be extra weird is if you have whoever doing, mocap for it, and the look of the character is inside or based on the person, and that's something that then somebody mods to do whatever with. I think that is like probably the most extreme that it can get, and I'm not exactly a fan of that. But again, I don't know if it's.
I also don't think it's that big of a issue.
I mean, I'm just thinking from like the person's perspective. Like that could be very off-putting. It can make you not want to do.
I'm sure it could even feel pretty invasive.
Yeah.
To a point.
Yeah, it might make some of these actors not want to contribute. And that can lead to a lot of things. It's kind of a slippery slope, but I think it's
I just think like the vast majority of people aren't going and downloading.
No, I don't think so either.
Pornographic mods.
I don't know. We could be wrong. I don't want to go look at the downloads numbers for the mod channels.
I'm gonna find them and be like, oh, well, you can add one more. I like that mod.
Well, I mean, so like for Final Fantasy VII, there was all the like, giving like Tifa and Ares their like sluttier versions of their costumes. But they also had their own. The costumes they added were pretty revealing anyways. Like,
right.
Those are just the ones that were in it.
Yeah.
And to do complete overhaul of like pornographic mods, I'm sure the ones they're thinking of there are like the Skyrim ones and stuff. They're bad. Like I've seen.
Oh yeah.
They're not great mods.
No.
Nor are they all that erotic.
Erotic,
you say?
Yeah, they're kind of not. Yeah.
They're usually done poorly. They're not implemented well. So meh. And then you have games like Baldur's Gate 3. You don't even need to mod in the pornographic ones. You can have sex with the bear without modding.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
I think it's dumb to completely remove it from a platform for that reason. I understand wanting to preserve art, your art, but also at the same time, get over it.
Yeah.
When you put your art out there, regardless of what it is, that's gonna, like, things like that are gonna happen. It's like when you want to become an actor and stuff. They gotta like, one of the things they tell you in like the classes and stuff is you need to be comfortable and get comfortable with the idea of people thinking those type of things about you. Putting your image out there at all, like,
yeah. I mean, it's an unfortunate thing, but it is a thing. Like it's unfortunately just the fact of.
Yeah. So like the integrity, the reputation of voice actors and actresses. I know that there's some voice actors out there who specifically do voice acting, so they don't have to have their face involved and stuff. But I'm sure that their characters have been, plenty of them have had characters of theirs used for sexual fetishes before.
Yeah.
This isn't a new thing.
No.
You're not saving anybody. To me, it was a very lackluster response.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And they're getting called out for it. So who knows? Maybe they'll end up changing their mind.
Right. We'll see. And if that happens, we'll let you know. Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, what do I got here? We got, speaking of Final Fantasy VII, we have an interview with some Sony peeps, where this was translated by Genki over on X, and there's some interesting stuff in here. Primarily, when they are talking about exclusives, the exclusivity of Square Enix going forward. First off, they have said that they want to have their games on more consoles. They want to continue what they've been doing. I know we recently had the Sony, the CEO, say that anything that they do to bring out games onto other consoles is just to make people buy their exclusives, get them hooked in so that they come and get a PlayStation to get the next iteration of the game, which to me is pretty gross. Like, I get that that's something that you're considering, but if that's your reason to bring any of your games to
I feel
PC,
it's 90%. I still feel it's 90% of the reason that Final Fantasy VII Remake has been split into so many pieces is money.
I mean, I don't think that's 90%. I think the scale of it that they wanted to do, I'd say it's like 70%. They needed the money to go forward with it. They did say part 3 is going to be the last one. I think that was confirmed previously. But they said that will be it. It's going to end the Final Fantasy VII remakes. The story will be concluded. And that it will not be a PlayStation 6 exclusive, which was everybody's worry, because a big part of what they have said on, when the game's going to be coming out, it's going to kind of line up with the PlayStation 6 release. So they haven't said that this won't be a Sony console exclusive, just that it won't be just on the PlayStation 6. So for anybody who was worried about that, be rest assured, if you do have a PlayStation 5, which a lot of people don't, then yeah, we'll see. But
let alone a PlayStation 6.
Yeah.
Never get that.
I'm still working on getting PC too.
Still waiting for that PC too, damn it.
Yeah. Just a little something from them that I thought was good to be mentioned.
Yeah. That's a pretty good one. Let's see. I thought this was interesting because I wasn't paying much attention to it, nor do I actually play this game. But the Marvel Snap mobile game.
Ah, yeah.
People were unable to access it for like a couple days. This came off the back of the TikTok ban.
Mm-hmm. Quote unquote.
It was banned. It was banned at the same time, and that's all in a whole bunch of really iffy position currently, at least here in the States. But yeah, it wasn't just affecting TikTok. I had no idea it affected something as big as like Marvel.
Yeah, who is the developer? Or not the developer?
ByteDance.
Publisher.
Or no.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. They're the publisher, ByteDance.
Yeah.
They all of their stuff in the US apparently they took down. Anything that was like a live service of any sort.
Because they also own TikTok.
Yeah.
Which we talked about last time got labeled a Chinese government thing.
Yeah.
Or owned by the Chinese government or whatever. They did state that they are going to be working to figure out how to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Which is good because right now the developer of Marvel Snap, not ByteDance, they are going to be trying to figure out a way to make sure that it doesn't happen. And I'm sure that if you're a Marvel Snap player, there's probably some gifts waiting for you.
Oh, they're calling it a mini blip.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
What they did say is they're committed to ensuring that all players are compensated for their time lost, time-based content rewards and missions during their mini blip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I hope they are able to figure out something.
It just feels weird that they took this game down because it's like nobody expected it, right? Like, I don't think that this was something that needed to be done in any way, shape, or form, and just kind of highlights the weirdness of when TikTok did go down and the things they said and whatnot. And
mind you, TikTok's back up right now, although it's very tenuous on what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
And so I hope for the developer second dinner that they're able to do something. They're looking for a new publisher partner and hopes that it can avoid any future disruption.
Yeah.
I hope they're able to find it because that's kind of what sucks. Especially as apparently Marvel Snap was receiving quite a big boost in player count and engagement following Rivals.
Oh yeah, because there's like rewards that you can get, like crossplay, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I never played Marvel Snap, so I wasn't.
Neither do I. I still didn't, even though I play Rivals. I've seen the thing. Like, I don't give a shit. Still not downloading that game.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wombat from Cagscast. He really likes Marvel Snap, and
I know some people who have said that it's pretty fun.
Yeah,
well, he was still not going to download it.
Yeah, no, same here. But he was saying that it's pretty fun, and it looks scammy, but it's not as scammy as it actually seems. Which I guess is good.
That's always good.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is my last one here. So there's a bundle that was released in support of the trans community. That's
God damn you.
Yeah, that itch.io. Yeah, Christian showed me that.
Yeah. This is
what he said he was going to talk about it today.
Well, good. We can both talk about it. So yeah, this is almost 80 games, right?
So a few things to note.
Yes,
This is all TRPG games.
Yes.
TTRPG games.
TTRPG games.
TTTRPG.
Yeah.
Keep
trans
tabletop role play games.
Yes.
No, a lot of them are by trans creators.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are experimental. A lot of them are small. There's a lot of single player ones. and a lot of like 2-player co-op style ones.
Yeah.
Which all have me intrigued. I kind of been wanting to check out some of the single player TTRPGs. But it looks pretty cool. It looks like there's some really fun ones on there. A whole bunch of different systems of playing. Yeah, and a great support for the trans community.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Who was it going to?
So there's a bunch of them actually. Let me see if I can. I think I have it down here.
The Trans Empowerment Project.
Yeah,
that's what. Yeah, TEP. Yeah.
Yeah, there's Two-Spirit, Trans, Intersex, Gender Expansive, Black, Indigenous, and People of Color in the TIGE-DIPOC.
Yeah,
It's there.
I think this is super cool. This comes off the wake of some executive orders from our president.
Oh yeah, they directly said that, didn't they?
That are rolling back a lot of protections for these marginalized communities. Up to 40 game designers have donated their games in order to raise funds for Trans Empowerment Project, which help a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. So at the time of this recording, that's there's 15 days left to get in on this. Their goal is hit $10,000.
Yeah, I think last time I checked, they're
at 7,618.
Fairly close. Yeah, they're over half. They've reached over half. Just like 5,000 more to go.
It's less than that, like 3,400-ish.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking right now. They're 66% of goal.
Where are you looking at? Because I'm looking at itch.io and it says 76% of goal.
Huh. Maybe ours are just updated differently, because that's what I'm looking at is itch.io currently. Maybe ours is just updated different.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're getting close, which means like if I loaded up mine and he loaded up his here near the same time, you can see that that's selling.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a cool thing. There seems to be some really fun ones, some like Monster of the Week type campaign or type games.
Mm-hmm.
Some heist stuff.
I like the, what is it called? Fantasy, the solo RPG for falling asleep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Made to make you tired.
Yeah.
There's so many like funny ones. Furries in a toaster.
Furries, I didn't see that one.
There's some.
Yeah, so if you're
some
like,
really cool one, Cats versus Cthulhu.
Yeah, if you're like super into TTRPG, want to try some things out, this is a steal to get in on. So
the Trans Vampire Cowboys.
Nice.
Running heists.
Running
from
heists.
The law. There was some really fun looking ones, some very creative stuff, and TTRPGs are super fun. Mm-hmm. I might actually be picking this up myself.
Yeah.
Plus, support the trans community, which are going through a lot right now.
Mm-hmm. The raccoon spoke to the dice. That looks adorable.
There's some really cute looking ones, some really fun looking things. Also some ridiculous ones, and some half formulated ones. Which, I'm sure if you enjoy, you could probably be a big part of helping them developed it.
Exactly.
A lot of them are always looking for community people to help them.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. That's all that I have, so take it away, Christian.
All right. I will take it away. I am taking everything away.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, shit.
He took it.
I'm just
Probably should have seen that one coming.
I just have 3 other things. Monster Hunter Wilds did a little beta recently.
Yeah.
And in light of that, are looking to off of some of the comments and feedback that they received from it. They're looking at downscaling the requirements a bit.
Oh, really?
For Monster Hunter Wilds.
That's actually pretty cool.
But and mostly just by just better programming.
Oh yeah, okay, that's cool.
On their side, so a lot of it isn't like taking away from like the game or anything, just better optimization that they were able to reach through all of that. But we're also getting another. There's going to be an early February and late February. I think is when the game launches, but there'll be a open beta in the early parts of February, which maybe they'll be able to decrease it some more. I don't know. Monster Hunter Wilds is something that I'm looking forward to. It's a game that I'm looking forward to. It will release on February 28th.
I don't know what it is about Monster Hunter, but I like starting the game and then I always just taper off. I've done it 3 times now.
I've done it a lot for other Monster Hunter games. It took me a while. Actually, Monster Hunter Worlds is the one that I ended up getting into the most.
Mm-hmm.
And Wilds looks to be like Worlds 2, you know? Like this is the natural progression of that.
Yeah.
I like Monster Hunter games, and World was awesome. They look like they're doing a bit more of an open field thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for it. Currently, Capcom recommends having a NVIDIA GTX 1660 Super or an AMD Radeon RTX 5600 for minimum requirements. This is for 720p, which you can upscale using DLSS.
Yeah.
The recommended settings are also targeting 1080p at 60 frames a second. And those are asking for a 2070 Super or a 4060. Or AMD RX 6700.
Yeah.
So they're hoping to like bring a little bit of that down a bit.
Which is good. I approve of that.
Yeah, it lets more people play your game.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it just feels like, you know, the recommendations and the minimum requirements for games is just getting crazy, you know? And I think a lot of that comes down
that
to
they'll
like,
be able to, because so Monster Hunter Wilds is going to be running on the RE engine.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's been a really solid engine. I've been playing, obviously, the Resident Evil games. But a whole bunch of Capcom has been one of my favorite companies for a long time. I keep playing their games, and it's done really well as far as performance goes. Like even for as good as it can look, it runs well. Not only does it have those, and it's like visual settings and stuff. It has everything laid out in a way that you can really get things running to the best of your ability.
Oh yeah.
Like it shows how much like video RAM you're going to be using based on your settings.
Right. That I think that's one of the cooler parts too, because
that's so helpful.
What's also
so damn
really
helpful.
cool is there are some things that you can push beyond the limit that it says it recommends for you, and it runs perfectly fine. So yeah, that engine works really well. I think I agree with you.
It's been one of the best engines I've seen in a long time. I mean, besides our basic ones, right? Our comment market ones. Yeah. Unreal is obviously still a good engine, but as far as Capcom goes, they've been running a lot of different types of games on the RE engine, and it still seems to hold up well.
Yeah.
So way to go, Capcom. Shut up and take my money. Let's see. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has been experiencing some issues.
Yeah.
Mostly off of their Discord page. They had released some code of conduct for their forums on Steam. Which had like a zero tolerance policy for discrimination in any form, and it broke that down, including racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, and other forms of toxicity, hate speech or harmful ideologies, including white supremacy, neo-Nazism, and harassment. Apparently, they got a whole bunch of feedback about how that was woke, and have rolled it back. After less than a week. Now it's not code of conduct. Now it's a much briefer set of guidelines. Although these guidelines are fairly typical, respect others, treat everyone fairly. This is the statement that caused a lot of stuff. We are not trying to stifle free speech, but ad hom attacks and criticizing others for their choices, whether in-game or in conversation, has no place here. Stay on topic. Keep the discussion focused on Kingdom Come. No spoilers without warnings, no spam or self-promotion, and then following the basic Steam guidelines. I think the thing that stands out to me the most is this not trying to stifle free speech.
Yeah. Well, it's like a bunch of places are trying to say like, oh yeah, this is all part of free speech and what's not. Which, I mean, if that's what you want to go for, then fine. Like, I get it. If you want to embrace that ideal into your company and, you know, your vision of the future or whatever, that's perfectly fine. I think there's something to say about free speech where you do have to unfortunately accept
a big lack of understanding what like free speech actually is. Well, sure, you have the right to say this stuff, but these developers also have the right to kick you the hell off.
Exactly. That's what I mean though. That's if the developer wants to embrace that though, that's fine. Like, there's clearly something going on though internally, because they say one thing and then they walk it back the next, you know, like,
yeah, this was like a week later.
Yeah,
I mean, this also came shortly after our new president took office.
Yeah.
Which, whether by coincidence or just whatever, there's been a whole lot of a Nazi problem on X and stuff. I'm seeing a lot of companies caving to these pathetic people.
Oh yeah. No, because here's the thing.
And it disturbs me.
There's quite a bit of them out there.
To Nazis. Remember, it's okay to punch a Nazi. They can say whatever they want, but you're also free to hit them in the face.
For legal reasons, no, you're not. You can't just punch a Nazi, unfortunately. I wish you could, but...
Agree to disagree. I'll give you a cookie.
Listen, yeah, we might reward you, but we're also not saying that legally you can.
I mean, you just wait for them to say something, and you can, you know.
But freedom of speech can also extend from your fist, right?
It cannot.
I'm sure you could fight that. My fist had a very disapproving statement.
But yeah,
I don't know.
It's one of those things where, like you said, like all these companies seem to be caving in this way, and yeah, I don't know. It's just like, stick to whatever you say, you know, like. If that is your policy, again, that's your policy. I'm not going to deal with you. I'll go away from your shit. Big reason why I don't use X anymore. And haven't for a while. Nor do I want to go back to it in any way, shape, or form.
They have a really bad Nazi problem.
Oh, yeah. It's horrible there.
It breaks my heart to see a whole bunch of companies caving to that like stupid bit of pressure. You see it all the time with like companies we're gonna step away from our like DEI initiatives and stuff, and it's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
We all know that was for the best, and it's this, although loud, fairly small group of people who are controlling this. Well, and hateful people. Like, these people are fucking mean and hateful.
Yeah, there's I can't remember what podcast I heard. I didn't like actually go and check it out, but it's like a whole thing on, you know, how those laws came about, how those how companies started. I think it actually started inside of Harvard, if I recall correctly, which is a whole thing, right? The whole DEI thing with Harvard. It's been an issue for the last like 6 months to a year. But that's basically where it first started being implemented, you know, outside of, you know, any government requirement and whatnot. And it wasn't only until afterwards where it was like, yeah, this is like basic freedoms and you're not giving them to anybody. So like now we have to force your hand.
So dumb. You have these I'm gonna call them fake gamers who sit here and complain that the reason games are bad now are because of DEI.
Yeah,
and
that's clearly not it.
No, but they're being so loud and stuff that they're really. I think they're drawing away from the actual causes, right? Which
yeah,
well, you know, not even just like the point of games, but the actual causes of what's actually going and what's going on in the game industry and why these games are failing. Mm-hmm. Like Concord didn't fail because of DEI.
Yeah.
Concord failed because it was a bad game with a whole bunch of bad decisions made by people who bear none of the responsibility.
Yeah. Right.
But instead they call it DEI, and now that's what they're worrying about. Whether it's these developers who know, or, you know, these CEOs and stuff who know for a fact that they're the ones who are making these terrible decisions, and that's why their games are failing. So they're just going to point to this as being, oh, this is the reason, not because of my terrible decisions.
Yeah,
but because of this DEI. I mean,
well, yeah, no,
it feels so
issue.
much like their whole critical race theory in classrooms and stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, no one's learning that. No one was learning that. That's like college level stuff.
Yeah, right. Like,
and also not what you think
schools.
It is. But
yeah, but that's besides the point. Yeah,
it just feels so analogous to that.
Yeah. No, for sure.
That it just takes away from the actual conversation that should be happening of why these video games are failing. But we don't get that.
No.
Instead, we get a whole bunch of hateful people who get mad when there's a person of color in their game.
Yeah. Unfortunately so.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of these hateful people just get mad when there's a person of color.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
That is very
They are just hateful, horrible people. And many of them who complain, like when they start complaining, you're like, did you even play games? What are you complaining about here?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it's just so weird to like call a game DEI anyways, because it's like, yeah, why wouldn't people who are playing characters who they are the avatar of not want to feel represented? You know, like, cool. Like if there's
some
a
of it
game,
even comes down to them not being a person of color. Like it can be just as low as, oh, that female character doesn't look fuckable to me.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Right.
Maybe not to you, but
mm-hmm.
Like, it's just because you have that sort of taste.
Yeah.
Like they said it with like Aloy from the Horizon series. For like the Forbidden West, everyone was like, "Oh, she's ugly now. She's not fuckable." And I'm looking at her like, "What are you guys talking about? She looks pretty. She looks gorgeous."
All you basement dwellers would be lucky.
I would have a hard time talking to this girl if I saw her on the side of the street. That's how pretty she is. But no.
Right.
It's dumb. It's dumb arguments that make no sense when we should be talking about other terrible stuff that the game industry is trying to do. Yeah. Like my next bit of news.
Do it.
So there's been some talk about some GTA 6.
There has.
Recently. Yeah.
Industry's going wild about it.
Yeah. CEO Matthew Ball, who is CEO of
Epillion.
Epillion?
I think it's Epillion.
Epillion? Okay.
EpiPen.
EpiPens. No. Released a whole bunch of statements and did a report about how a lot of game makers, and let's be just frank on what he means by game makers, because he doesn't mean developers. He means the CEOs and people in charge, are really hoping that GTA 6 is priced from $80 to $100. That way they can break the barrier of the $7 barrier. That, mind you, the $70 barrier that came around only like last year.
Yeah.
With the same arguments that we've heard before about how inflation hasn't raised in game prices, and the price of making games just keeps going up.
Yeah,
and the selling price of games hasn't increased with that, so it's stagnating. But they're really looking at GTA 6 to release at a higher price so that they can all start releasing games.
If GTA 6 comes out at that higher price, okay, just this is besides anything else, just in this little bubble that I'm gonna paint for you real quick. GTA 6 comes out at $80 and it sounds like gangbusters. That has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that people love that series. It has, like, it's a good game, legitimately, their previous iterations, and that just shows that what they have done in the past is going to help them propel forward. That does not mean that it's going to quote unquote break the barrier for other gaming companies to sell at that price point.
There's that. I agree. Just because one game would sell at $100 doesn't mean you all have the right to do so.
Yeah. And if they try, they're going to fucking burn out, first off.
one of the things that Ball argued is that a $70 GTA 6 would be the cheapest GTA game ever released in real terms. That's when taking inflation into account. In real terms, 91 would be an average. Of course, that's looking at like how much the game costs, how much the game costs to make over what you're selling it for, right? I think that's what he's looking at there to call it the cheapest. But literally the whole thing goes off, and it feels just like the same arguments we've had every time. They stop, like, yes, game prices haven't really gone up much over time.
Well, and that's the thing, is that this is a technology-based industry.
Like I was about to say, it's just because different technologies have come out making it cheaper for them to make the game, or not even just to make the game, but to put the game out. They're not giving us physical copies of games anymore. They don't have that cost anymore.
Right.
So we were supposed to see like a decrease in prices with digital sales. That was one of the things that, like, oh, don't be afraid of digital sales. It will make games cheaper.
I mean,
which we only really see in terms of like Steam sales.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah, that's
which
for
is nice.
Steam making the game cheaper.
But that's Steam. Yeah, that's not them putting out the game for cheap.
I mean, I will play devil's advocate and say that you do kind of see it getting cheaper in the way that the prices aren't going up nearly the same way that inflation is growing.
Agreed. But that's why, in my point, that's why it was staying the same.
Yeah.
That's why, like, we've only seen like a slight increase, right? Like from the average cost of $50 per game back in the day to now $70. Like, it's not that we haven't seen an increase. That's my biggest thing. It's like, that's a lie. Yeah. You just argued about this last year when Ubisoft released Skull and Bones, their quadruple A game, for $70. And people are like, well, this isn't worth $70. But I mean, we've talked about it before in the past. Like, games should have a wide range of cost based on that. I wouldn't be surprised to see GTA 6 release for like $80. But I don't think Rockstar needs to.
No, they won't. And if anything, they are the ones that can sell it for $60 and make that much more profit off of it immediately, you know? Because, because it is going to sell either way. They could sell it at $50.
And then they're going to release they're going to do a GTA Online for that.
Yeah.
And it's going to make billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Just like 5 did. 5 did. There's a reason Rockstar hasn't made any games in a long time. They bought themselves the time and resources to not need to push out slot games.
And here's the thing. I'll say right now, I'm not just right off the bat 100% against a game coming out at $70. I do understand inflation. I do understand transitioning to new technology and whatnot. All of those things, they're a cost, and you want to make that up in some way, shape, or form. And overall, just with inflation alone, $60 today from back in when did the market shift to $60 prices? Like what, 2010?
I would say so.
Somewhere around there, I think. Yeah, maybe it was before that, but that inflation that's easily over $20 of inflation right there. So $60 games then were the equivalent of at least 80 today.
Yeah. I saw some pretty cool responses to this, including from the publishing director of Baldur's Gate 3. He said, "You're not supposed to say that out loud." A good company raises salaries in line with inflation so that their staff don't die or something. But games price haven't risen with inflation. This isn't the reason the industry is in a shift for now, but it is an uncomfortable truth. On the other hand, the responsibility for game developer is to make sure that the game they show lives up to that promise and earns that investment from players. It's kind of in the same sense we do. Like, you need to put, if you want us to pay more, which I'm gonna throw a fit about doing every time, you need to have a game that's worth it.
Exactly.
You need to live up to those expectations. One of the reasons AAA it's become such a big thing is AAA gaming sucks. Like, Ubisoft hasn't released anything solid, especially anything worthy enough of an $80 title in years.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
So we're supposed to, and like, they act like it hasn't gone up, but every year they fight for this stuff. You know?
Yeah, if these, and here's the thing, if these AAA companies weren't coming out where every game is now $70 that they release, but you're still selling me, schlop, like, yeah, I'm not gonna take that.
I'm definitely gonna fight you.
Yeah, like if you're a gaming company who's selling your biggest game at $70 because like you made something special, okay, I can understand that.
But you gotta prove that it's something special, man.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not even happy with a 70. I think one of the things that pisses me off most is it was only last year that we were talking about
moving to
the raise to 70.
Yeah, right. And now it's immediately 80 to 100.
Oh,
no.
Yeah. Now it's like, oh, it hasn't risen.
It just did.
It just did. You just raised it recently. This article.
Yeah, it's frustrating in the least.
I start feeling like Sideshow Bob in a pile of rakes.
Mm-hmm.
But that was it for all the news I got.
Yeah. Sweet.
I hope Rockstar is smart enough to just keep their game at the currently raised $70 price tag. Although GTA, like I said, is probably one that could get away with raising to an 80. But that does not mean that every other developer can then has just permission to release all games at $80.
Honestly, at this point, I hope Rockstar does, the good guy thing and releases it at $60 for the base game.
That was one of the cool things I saw about that Claire Obscura Expedition 33.
Mm-hmm.
They're releasing for, I think they said $50.
Nice.
They're doing like a lower end thing.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm about it.
And they said like they could probably charge the full price, but this is what they felt comfortable charging.
Mm-hmm.
That's rare to see in general.
That's cool. Cool. Well, guess it's time for our weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weeks. Who wants to go first? Who wants to go last?
I'll go first.
Okay, take it away, Andrew.
Tell you about my week. I no-lifed this game here. Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's pretty sweet. Like 30 hours in.
Nice.
It's not really, it's a little bit It's the I'm not like other Yakuza games. It's the pick me Yakuza game. Because it's got this like turn-based combat stuff. Or well, I got it auto battling right now because I'm just grinding some fights, but yeah, really different. And I got a whole party to hang out with. Put them in goofy outfits. Everybody has wacky attacks. I guess just all the different classes. Like there's a hobo class, and my hobo guy right there.
Nice.
Yeah, and he like his first special attack is he throws beans on a guy and pigeons show up and peck the guy to death. That's the first special attack that he gets.
That's pretty cool.
And then he like burps on people and takes like a shot of booze and spits fireballs with it.
Nice.
And that's just the hobo class. It's all very silly. For a little while, my whole party was running around with marital aids. I guess you'd call them. That'd be the polite thing to call them. Because they were pretty good weapons at the time.
Why are you?
I got access to
about it?
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, it was just One dude had a big old fuck you vibrator wand, and the other guy had smaller vibrator. Run around bashing people with vibrators.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They did paralyze on hit as well, or chance to paralyze. You know, because all the orgasms.
Because of the orgasm. Yeah, that makes sense.
It was a very silly game. Definitely doesn't take itself seriously.
Very Yakuza.
Yeah, like it's still, it's got the Yakuza feel to it completely. Although I've only ever played Yakuza 3 besides this game. It definitely has all the goofy mini games and shit. I haven't really even got into them too much. No lot to this game.
Mm-hmm.
You've been having a lot of fun with it, though.
I have.
It just looks so fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really goofy. But honestly, like a solid, like, JRPG.
Mm-hmm.
The combat sort of reminds me of Persona. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be like Dragon Quest. That's like the whole thing with this game is it's supposed to be like Dragon Quest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are you saying? Like
that's why it's called like a dragon.
Like a huge fan of Dragon Quest.
Yeah, he's a huge Dragon Quest fan. He talks about it all the time in the game.
That's cool.
Like he's very aware of the game's very aware of what it's trying to do.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But it's just like really works really well for me. I like it a lot more than I like the combat. I like quite a bit more than the like mainline Yakuza games.
Mm-hmm.
I think the combat's like really the biggest difference between the mainline ones and this one. But I guess you get to have a party in this one rather than just play different characters in different chapters. Pretty cool though. It's got, your normal Yakuza gangster story.
I've always had a warm spot for the Yakuza games myself.
Yeah.
They're just so silly and
very silly. Just a good sense of humor in these games. Ridiculous. Yeah, like that character's got a popsicle. She's a pop idol. She works as my like bard. Oh, finally, okay. I don't have to do circles in this area anymore and fight the same people. I can go turn those quests in. Yeesh. Took a while.
Nice.
No, go smack these guys. Yeah, pretty fun game. It's on the Game Pass if you got Game Pass, so you can check it out for freezies. And there's a new Like a Dragon game coming out in the future. I'm not sure when it comes out. I think you can pre-purchase it though.
Let's find out. Yeah. Yakuza. Does it have a release date?
Oh. Someday.
Someday.
I'm sure it does. I just haven't found it yet. When do you come out? February 21st.
Oh, that's pretty soon. Then yeah, here in less than a month. Yeah.
Yeah, February is going to be a big month. We got Avowed coming from Obsidian.
Mm-hmm.
What was that other game that we were just saying was at the end of February? Monster Hunter.
Yeah, Monster Hunter. Yeah. Yeah, February is gonna be a little stacked.
Right.
That's gonna hurt the wallet.
That's gonna leave a mark. That's pretty much been my way. Oh well, and the new episode, the new episode of Severance, but watching the new season of Severance.
That was good. Although it gave a stupid show. They're like, here's the second episode. So here's 2 more questions for you to discover.
It's enigmatic. It's supposed to be like that.
They give me no answers.
You got some answers.
I really fear that. When shows become like that, I always fear that they'll never get to the end, and I blame Netflix for that.
Yeah, you should.
Shows just get canceled now.
Yeah, this show feels more like it has like a planned ending. It feels like they're going somewhere. I don't think they're gonna be. I mean, they can only keep this mystery box going so long on the show.
It's super good though. Like, it is a really good show.
I hope they don't explain it at all. I hope they're just like fuck it. It doesn't matter. That's not what the point of the show is.
There's some things that I don't care about knowing. Right? Like, I don't know if I'll ever need to know exactly what they're doing there. Like, work-wise.
Yeah. Oh, it's Cold Harbor.
Well, apparently. That's a whole new thing.
They answered that question for you. Which raised several more questions.
It's so good though, and it's acted so well. It's so fun. Severance is a great show.
Yeah, I need to download that. I mean, watch it legally.
Of course.
Of course.
Who would do it illegally? There's monsters.
Yeah, that'll probably be next.
Yeah, that's why we over here we subscribe to every streaming platform that there is, and I go see like new movies when they premiere as well in the theaters
all the time. I just give them money sometimes.
yeah. Sometimes I just call up major Hollywood studios and I'm like, hey, can I just send you some money? You guys been doing such a good job.
And it's still cheaper than cable.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Netflix raising their prices yet again.
Yep, I know. Ugh. So
glad I don't have them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Yar.
And that's it for you then?
Take to the Pirate Bay on all that stuff. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, mostly just. I mean, I've been playing Marvel Rivals with you and Christian. You guys were there. You remember?
Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah. I was.
Yeah, you were there.
You were.
I'm sorry.
Although, based on the amount of healing I was getting, you might.
Whatever do you mean?
I mean, you should stop playing Mantis like she's captain. You should be in the front line.
Well, if you guys would push.
There's literally no room for me to push between you and the enemy because you're standing on top of them.
Excuses.
You didn't want to die 10 times in a match. Just stand behind the tank.
Behind the tank. The corner.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
about you,
that's yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. For me, let's see. So I've been playing a lot of Balatro.
Nice.
Yeah, I got super into it. I beat it 3 times. So I've done 3 endless runs, which are really cool.
Would this have been your game of the year had you played it before we did the list?
I don't know if it'd be my game of the year, but it would have been in
a contender.
In there. Yeah. Because as it's really fun. I like the way that, like I said before, that the game kind of shifts and evolves. And at first I was like a little disappointed that, you don't get to keep your deck, that you have to rebuild it every time. But like, after having played it a bit, it's like, no. I would be a god if I could just keep it.
Oh, yeah. If you could just like continually make it just polish it up, you
exactly.
would just
you'd
just be sitting on a deck that you wouldn't even be taking cards anymore. You'd just be like, oh, my deck just wins every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, hands will give me enough to win the last round.
Yeah, once you start figuring out which cards are really good and like how you can shape those to like for the build that because you kind of are like, there's a little bit of like just happenstance that happens at the beginning, right? Just whatever cards that
there's
you
some
get.
RNG.
Yeah, so you kind of have to build what you're doing along with what you have. So yeah, you kind of got to know which jokers and what other cards are best for the situation, which I'm still learning. But yeah, having been able to get to the point where I could actually beat the game and be able to take the unlimited runs like as far as I did, it was like, yeah, like there's some coolness to this game. There's some epicness to it that I really, really enjoy. But that being said, as good as it is, and as addictive as it is, it doesn't scratch the itch of some of the other games that I had on my game of the year. So I don't think it would have won, but it's still.
I was just
really,
curious,
really fun.
Since it was like a game of the year winner and
like everywhere.
Official.
Yeah. As far as any games go, it did extremely well.
Right. Yeah.
Even being one of the first indie games ever to be
right.
Nominated for Game of the Year.
And I do think that it totally deserves that recognition. If it is somebody's game of the year, like I can see why it would be. So yeah, good on them. Honestly, it's good stuff. What else have I played? There was something else, I swear, other than Marvel Rivals, because obviously we've done a lot of that.
I was going to ask if you played Marvel Rivals.
Have you tried that new Marvel Rivals?
That is pretty good. I can't remember what it is that I played now. There's something else in there. But let's see. TV wise. So we did end up finishing Silo. The second season. Which was like you started to get some answers in there, which is cool. And what I like about having watched this season now, it's very much the opposite of you, Christian. I'm not scared of it ending, because they said that there's 2 more seasons, and that's gonna be the story. And
are they gonna get those 2 seasons though?
Yeah, they've already been paid for, bought, like it's done. It's okay. Contracts are done.
You have nothing to worry about.
Exactly. So like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, this is very low risk reward for me, so I'm gonna continue watching. That being said, you get some idea of some other things going on. You get a little glimpse of the past and what might have happened. There's a lot of unanswered questions still. As many things that were answered is as many things that were now brought up that you're like, well, how the fuck did that happen? But what's really cool is I think they did a lot of really good and clever character development. And it like, I felt like that was kind of what was lacking in the first season, is there's just a sense of like, oh yeah, here are these characters that are put in this interesting situation, but you don't see them really grow. Like Juliet a little bit, because she's in a fish out of water situation, right? But you don't really get that from any other characters. You know, they're doing what they have to, or what they feel is right, and whatnot. But the way the characters have evolved in the second season has been pretty rewarding, in my opinion. So that was really, really cool to see. So yeah, that's it for the Silo. Started watching season 2 of the last season of What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, good stuff. I can't wait for more.
It's a great show. I still quote it all the time.
I'm gonna be so sad though when it ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't say you won't, because it
was good.
It's sad.
Yeah. Well, we'll see when I get there.
I just started rewatching it. That's what I did to cope.
Oh, that's fair. You know, I think that's,
and it was still just as enjoyable.
Yeah, good. What else? I think that might. Oh no. Okay, so I actually have some really, really cool things that I do want to share. So I had to go up to Angel Fire for work, and I was over at their airport, and it was really cool because there's this guy there who he was a test pilot, and he was basically giving the airport some of his patches that he's collected. So he had all of his patches out on this table, you know, from all the different places that he was and whatnot. I guess there's even some like joke patches that were made for him that were in there. So yeah, like some of them were like NASA branded and everything. He had his pilot swings with him and everything. And he was just sitting there shooting the shit with the guys at the airport, and sharing some stories. And it's like one of them was him. He didn't get to test the SR-71, but he got to be in the simulator because they were getting ready to test the jet engine, which he kind of, I guess he was helping with engineering at some point too, because he knew all these details about how the engine worked and whatnot, and it seemed a little bit more than what a test pilot would normally know. But I guess like,
I think if I was a test pilot, I'd want to know how the engine works.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. But he got like real technical on some things. So I don't know if he was just like, that was just his interest, or if he helped in some way, shape, or form to develop it or whatnot. Or maybe he just, like you said, he was just interested in it and really wanted to know because, you know, he's a test pilot. So, but he was saying that. I
imagine in some level it helps you understand like what might go wrong.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
And then what to do if something did go wrong, right? Like to know what kind of engine and how it's working seems important in that kind of field.
Oh yeah, yeah. But yeah, so while he was inside of the simulator, I guess they were testing out, I forget the term that he used, but basically like if the engine were to just stop working all of a sudden. And so whenever they did this, the simulator would because like, you know, those simulators, they're like being inside of the fucking cockpit, apparently. So he was saying that, you know,
have you ever seen videos of those?
I've seen them from the outside. I've never seen anything from the inside.
They look like those rides at like malls and stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
Where you get in and it simulates a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
They almost look like that, except for that has a pilot seat and you're supposed to control it.
Yeah. That's cool. But yeah, he said that like while he was testing this, every time like his head would it would come to a stop and you'd feel all that motion, so his head would get knocked on the side of the cockpit like every time. And so like after like 10 runs of that, just over and over banging his head, he was finally like, guys, we gotta stop, I need a break here. Like it's too much. But that would be so cool, like even just doing that the simulator. And he also talked about how like whenever they did like radar testing, they'd play chicken with one another. Just like flying straight at one another. So that must have been fun. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. It was really cool to meet this guy. He gave me a sticker for the SR-71 and whatnot too, so it's cool stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that was like a pretty big highlight of the week. Yeah, and then I got sick again. So fun stuff. Yeah. Nice. All the bugs going around. So I imagine I probably caught it from somebody up there over at Angel Fire,
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, they're dirty up there.
Yep, brought it back down here for everyone to enjoy. So
stinky hippies.
But yeah. So yeah, that was my week.
And snow instructors.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them up there.
Yeah, I know 2 who live at Angel Fire.
Snow instructors. Do they tell people about snow?
Yeah.
Or do they teach the snow how to be snow?
Oh, the twist.
Yeah. Yes. To both.
They're literal snow instructors. Got it. That's nice of them. It's a good service.
Yeah. It's helpful.
Yeah.
To everybody involved.
Well, Christian, you want to round it up?
Sure. Let's see. I've had a pretty normal, boring week. I finished the second edition of The Wandering Inn.
That's right.
That I had started last week. It was pretty good. It probably added like 4 to 6 hours worth of extra content.
Yeah.
It didn't change the story, much at all. But definitely added like some really cool perspective chapters that help clarify some things, and might even like help clarify some things that happen in future books.
Okay.
But they did add, like, one of the things that they added does make some of what happens in the next books a little off key. So I don't know if they're gonna like do second versions of the other ones too.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like one big like event that like took place where one of the main characters gets attacked by this other side character, to the point that that person's like trying to murder them with other people, and it ends in kind of like a real big mix-up. And I don't know how. Like one of the characters, she gets like jumped by 3 people, and one of them dies. One of them is severely wounded, and she saves. And the main antagonist of it seemingly kind of disappears. Not sure the outcome, right?
Yeah.
But they also appear later on in the books, and like the next book, with like no mention of those events, because this is, a rewrite.
Yeah.
So it throws it off just a little bit.
That's cool.
Like this character tried to murder her, and she's just in the back, like sneering and smiling and laughing. And it's like, look, if some bitch tried to murder me and I saw her next,
right,
it would be, I'm going to try and kill you. But overall, I thought it was a really good like second edition. Glad I didn't have to pay anything for second edition. So that was fun. That was a fun book to read. Already one of my favorite series, so I knew I'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals, we've been playing the grip of that, which has been pretty fun. I still kind of get disgusted sometimes by the amount of transactions it has in the game, and some of the prices. My God, some of those new skins are $22.
Right.
It's insane.
Yeah, I think the I guess it's okay because it's only visual, but it's still a little. It's so much. It's like,
I'm tired of that being like an excuse for it to be okay. Honestly, I'm kind of. That doesn't mean it's okay. The fact that it's free gives it a little bit more leeway to have that type of stuff. It's still just really expensive for some of that. Like,
yeah, no, I agree. Like, yeah.
I will say,
on the other hand, the Battle Pass is very, very well priced.
That's what I was about to say. Like, seemingly the best deal you can get for your money is through like the Battle Pass, at least the current one. Hard to say about what will happen in the future, but
yeah.
The current Battle Pass, which is $10, you get like a good number of costumes in there for a number of people. So there's a good amount of stuff within that pass to make the $10 feel worth it. Especially when you look at the like individual costumes that can cost you to anywhere from like $16 to $20.
Yeah.
Or you can get a bundle of the Guardians of the Galaxy for $45.
Yeah, that's why I am saving my extra money that I earn for whatnot, because I do want to get that Guardians bundle, because I do want to learn Groot, and I already played two of the other characters.
I'm hoping to just be able to save enough each time to make like the season pass cheaper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Since it doesn't look like it'll be like earn enough to get the next season pass.
Yeah.
Which is how I would prefer it to be done.
Yeah, no, me too. But I get it. With the game being free, I kind of get it.
It's a $10 pass isn't too bad.
No.
It lasts forever. It doesn't expire, so that's already a bonus to that side. Yeah, it's just microtransactions.
Yeah, and it's really rampant with them for sure. It's definitely, in some ways, it's putting my idea of how they should be at its very limit, if not beyond.
It's pushed that a few times for me.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, it's like, no, okay, that's a fun game. Good. Yeah, and it is fun, so there's something to be said about that too.
So there is fun to have, and if you've got the extra funds, cool. I hope that they're able to keep up the fun of the game.
Me too. That's the important
and
part.
keep updates going well. They already seem like they're on a better trajectory than Overwatch. But it is still a little too early to fully say.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. Other than that, I got this. Like my entire like D&D group picked it all up on like the same day, which was just pretty funny in itself. But we all got the hammers, or Heroes of Hammerwatch. Remember that?
Yeah. How is that?
Hammerwatch 2. It's a pretty fun little roguelike. That's like action RPG Diablo style. game. I think the pixel graphics all look really nice. I've checked out 3 of the classes so far, which 3 of 4 that I currently have, and that's pretty solid. As you go through the runs, you just earn like materials, and you kind of rebuild like a little village as your like main base.
Yeah.
Which starts out as like a little camp, and then you start putting like, you know, actual buildings in there and stuff. It's been really, it's pretty fun little game. I don't know what much to say about it.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It's multiplayer, seemingly like just kind of hop in and play with people too. Me and Andrew played together for a little while.
Indeed.
It was pretty cool. It gets pretty tough at some points. Like, you'll just like get swarmed and die all of a sudden. I was struggling a lot as the warrior when me and Andrew were playing. He kept having to revive me quite a bit. So I think next time I'll probably switch over to the paladin, so we have a bit more healing on our side. But nice, it has some skills that definitely pair with being like in a multiplayer thing.
Yeah.
Which is always nice for games like this, to have some sort of thought beyond, oh, you can play together.
Yeah, right.
The skills kind of lend each other to that. Pretty fun, pretty cheap. I've been playing other stuff too. I just started playing, like I said earlier, I started playing the Ninja Gaiden Black. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Which has been fun and challenging. Also started playing Persona 3 Reloaded. Because I've never really played the Persona games. I have played a number of the Shimigami Tensei games.
Yeah.
Which are like their predecessor type thing.
Yeah.
Although they're still making Shimigami, so it's hard to say predecessor.
Yeah.
But they all came from the same place, and all have kind of a similar vibe. Although, I don't realize that, I don't know if it's just a Persona 3 thing or if it's Persona thing, but the way that they activate their personas is somewhat disturbing. They have to like shoot themselves in the face.
What?
Yeah, they have these like guns, and in order to activate like any of the persona abilities, they like shoot themselves in the head. Like,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also very disturbing in so many ways. Like, just the imagery alone, like they're fine or whatever, it's breaking out their persona. And whether it's firing real bullets, I'm not entirely sure here, but there's definitely like a sense, like one of the characters really struggles with doing it, which obviously understandable. So I still have some questions. I don't know if that's like just a Persona thing and has been in like all of them, or if it's just Persona 3 that does the shooting of the face thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't.
But
know
it
that
could
was
be
a thing at all.
It's very effective if you're wanting to show like the sacrifice needed to make. Even though I'm unclear of like if it's shooting bullets or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'm having some fun with that. I haven't played too much of it, like an hour and a half. Andrew was playing the Yakuza games, and I was like, I want to play a JRPG. I don't know why I didn't pick up Like a Dragon. Mostly because I've always wanted to play one of the Personas.
You've got Game Pass. That's where you got
and
Persona.
also, I figure I'd let Andrew go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah,
it was all for podcast and content.
Yeah.
Creation.
Gotcha.
Nothing else.
Yeah, no other reason.
Don't question that.
Okay.
Don't question.
I never do.
Great. That's why we're friends. I mean, that was mostly it for my week. Lots of rivals. We've been playing that like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is like, most evenings get on, play some Rivals.
I mean, speaking of which, I do need to get out and do some missions today. I don't know how you guys are feeling.
Oh yeah, me too, for sure. I gotta do some things.
I got some dailies and some challenges to complete.
We have that dinner to go to, so we got to get it in beforehand, you know.
Exactly. Like before and after.
Cause you're over here, I'm jonesing.
No, not really. I just I'm not Zoe, okay?
Oh, I know. Sometimes
every time I look, I'm like, oh, Zoe's on.
Right.
No surprise.
I wake up in the middle of the night sometimes and just like, okay, I'll go work on a server thing or whatever, try to work on a video. And she's just on. I'm like, okay, that's a lot.
That's cool. I've known Zoe for a while, so it's kind of cool to see her get into something a bit more competitive.
Yeah.
Than I've really ever seen her play or get into, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess she did quite a bit with Overwatch, so.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
I think this one's probably a little easier for her to play, anyways, because it's the third person over a first person view. Because I know that's always been a struggle for.
Yeah. Right. Indeed.
For her in general.
Yep. Well, shall we call it there? Go play some Marvels?
Yeah.
Good.
Not really on the again, I have some things I gotta do, but maybe afterwards. But I'll let you guys know. But yeah.
Yeah, I was mostly joking.
No, you weren't.
Mostly.
Well,
Mostly.
I do want to play some Rivals today, but I'm sure we'll get there at some point.
Yeah, we will. We'll get there.
Sure will, buddy.
Good. We better.
Yeah. We'll call it there. Thank you everybody for joining us. As is usual, you can catch us typically on the Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. For the live podcast. And you can catch it otherwise here on the YouTube, on your favorite podcasting platform, or on our website at classicgamerbrain.com. What else we got? You'll see us play some Marvels. Server's back up and running, so yeah, we can get some cool video bits and whatnot. I think the things that I'll be able to do will be. I think I might do like individual.
I mean, we play as almost nearly a full party most of the time.
Right, exactly. So,
we're 5 deep already.
We might get somebody to join us regularly too, but we'll see. Depends on their computer situation. So, but yeah, otherwise, we'll see you guys around. Thanks for joining. We love you all. Bye.
Bye. Hit the music.
It's already going.